We're joined today by Tim Schels from men's soccer, and honestly, I'm a little surprised this interview is still happening. Tim's the first guest we've had in a while who actually got here early enough to watch us do some other stuff. And normally when that happens, they run away and we never see them again.
Don't want to be a part of that.
But Tim, you're still here.
Yeah, I have time. I'm a senior, so I'm just enjoying the time here.
Yeah, man, let's just hang out. Let's just have a fun morning here.
Tim's like, a couple of years ago, I would have been gone. It looked very dubious, but we appreciate you staying. Tell us a little bit about how things are going for men's soccer so far this fall.
It's a little bit of an up and down. So we're 6-3-3. So all in all, it doesn't look that bad. We hope to have a few more wins, but I mean, we have 4 more games to go. So we're still in a decent spot, and if we can end up winning a few more games, we should be good for the tournament.
All right, as you can tell, Tim is from Burlington, North Carolina. No, he's from an originally German native, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you get all the way over here to Chapel Hill?
I was playing back home. I was playing 4th division and started to study next to it. And so I was like looking around, like what can I do to have the best experience of like playing at a good level, also studying. And so I ended up having a few friends who like came to the US and they all enjoyed their experience. So I was like, hey, might as well give it a shot and try to combine athletics and academics at the highest possible level. So that's how I ended up here in North Carolina.
What did you know about either North Carolina as a place or Carolina as a school before you actually got here?
Honestly, pretty much nothing. All I heard was Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it. Like, obviously, you know a little bit about like the cities or like the state in general, but nothing big. So it was all pretty new for me when I came here. So,
What is the level of soccer comparison to playing at the college level to, you said 4th division, I think, in Germany. What's the level of competition comparison there?
I get this question a lot, and like I always feel like it's very hard to like answer that because of the different rules. So I think the biggest different rule is like the subbing. So like you can sub as often as you want here in college, and that just changes the game completely because there's a lot of teams who just press you for 90 minutes, and like if anybody's tired, they just sub them off, and a few minutes later they sub them back on. So I'd say like the intensity and the physicality here is like very high compared to like a European standard because you can just maintain the pressure for a very long time of the game.
Sure.
And honestly, I was a little bit surprised of like the technical level here because it's always hard for like us in Europe to like know a lot about college and MLS because you don't see it that often on TV. So it was hard for us to like judge it, but the level here is very high. So I think there's a lot of very good players here who can definitely go to Europe and maybe have a good career over there. Yeah.
I'm going to guess if you were already playing professional level, you've been playing for a while. When did you start playing?
So I think I started playing when I was like 3-4 years old. And I think it's kind of normal in Europe that you start that early because it's just like the main sport. So like every kid has a little ball and like everything you do is just kicking it. And then when you're 3-4 years old, you have your friends around, and then you just end up going to the club and have practice a couple of days a week. And then very early you end up like enjoying it and just keep playing it until you're still here.
If you had to compare and contrast Ted Lasso and Carlos Simoana, how would you do that?
I think the biggest difference is that Carlos knows what he's talking about in soccer. But yeah, I think like there's a lot you can take away from Ted Lasso.
Like what?
I really like his humor and like how he deals with his players and how he deals with problems. And I feel like he's always coming up with a very positive solution, even when you feel like everything is going downhill, and like he still ends up making it seem that it's not even that bad. And obviously about soccer, like he doesn't really know anything, but you can see that you can still kind of have success at any point. And I think, it's just a great show and like a great character that you can take away a lot from. Yeah.
All right, one of the captains of the team, what does that role mean to you? How do you try to embrace that?
I think it comes with a lot of responsibility, but I always want to see that responsibility not as like pressure, but as like a challenge. It's like the whole being away from home for me is like a challenge, but that's like another big part of it, like to just try to, even though you're foreign, like it's not your main language, just try to lead like the boys around you. And like the advantage for me is that I'm like older than like most of the college guys here, so I have like that little bit more maturity, I'd say, maybe than a few guys coming in at 17, 18 years old. And so I just try to give them a little bit more experience I have, and just try to lead as much as I can on the field, and just try to be a role model, especially for the freshmen.
I was going to ask you, I mean, far away from home, you said like didn't know a ton about the place when you came. What challenges has that brought for you? Was it ever lonely? Was it ever difficult? How'd you kind of navigate through it?
So for me, coming in 2020 when COVID was at its peak, it was, not gonna lie, very hard at the beginning, because right when I got here, every student on campus got sent home. So I was sitting in my dorm, not really doing anything. I was going to practice once a day, had my Zoom classes, but other than that, I was lonely in my room. We were not allowed to meet anyone because of COVID, and so the start was a big challenge, and I'm not gonna lie, there were thoughts where I'm like, why am I doing that? Like, I could just go back home to my family and just wait until the whole pandemic is over and then might give it another shot. But it was actually Carlos who like convinced me to like take this as like a challenge, and that it's not easy all the time, and like it wasn't easy for like the whole world at that point. So I had a very good conversation with him, and he like convinced me to like just stay and fight through it, and I'm very happy that I did it. And like looking back now, I'm as happy as I can be. Like I'm talking to my family a couple days a week, so we're still always in touch, obviously. And so it made it very easy for me to have all my teammates around me who are like my family now. So I'm enjoying my stay here.
Many of those teammates on men's soccer, there's a heavy international influence with that team. How do all those kind of different cultures and places come together, and how is that facilitated?
I think it makes it even more easy, because like everybody has their own culture and their own backgrounds, but as much as you're individual, you know that everybody around you is as well. So I think you can take away a lot from that, to like just learn about other cultures, other people, and like where they come from, and like what their history was. And I think one thing that helped us as a team a lot, because we are so diverse, is that before every season we do like a Tell My Story, where we have a couple of days where every player can like use the chance to like speak to their teammates about like their like whole childhood, like how they were growing up, what their challenges were, and then about their family background. So I think we get to know each other a lot in preseason, which just helps us throughout the season to understand each other and just to grow together as a family.
All right, before we let you go, we got about a minute. Ben, as you said, still a couple games left here in the regular season. What's important here down the stretch for you guys to get where you want to be at the end?
For us, it's about like combining offense and defense. Obviously, that's part of the game. But like for us, we had a very good defense throughout the season, and we were struggling to score. Now, last game we scored twice, but also conceded twice. So for us, it's about now like having a stable defense and try to get 1 or 2 goals. So we said we don't care if we are 1-0 winning team. So it's about having a clean sheet and then try to get 1 or 2 goals up front to like get hopefully 4 more wins, and then like get into the tournament with a good seeding.
That's Tim Schels, men's soccer. Tim, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.